Okay, so let's try to understand the Maven terminologies. So artifact and group ID are the most commonly used in the Maven. Group ID. So what is the group ID? So this will identify your project uniquely across all the projects. So that means if you go back to your Maven repository.com, you will see a lot of official jars present there. Okay, so all the softwares were developed or published into that Maven repository, right? So whenever you ask your framework to connect to the jars, how it can uniquely identify your Selenium or mobile automation or API automation. So it's based upon the dependencies we saw. Okay. Now, for example, when I say Selenium, so Selenium have a unique group ID. So there are a lot of projects here, right? Application, metrics, category wise. So at least if you see this, yeah, 3.6 version. Let's open the version. So Maven will uniquely identify Selenium project with the group ID given here. So tomorrow, if you want to work on API automation project, in that case, you can simply say rest assured, and we will see that what is the group ID given there. Okay, so this is about API testing, and you see that group ID here is io.rest-assured. So that means out of hundreds and thousands of projects present in Maven repository, Maven will identify the project uniquely by the group ID what you are passing. So when I said that you have to use that 4 lines of code, in that 4 lines of code, one line is about group ID. In the same way, artifact ID is a sub-project of the group ID. Now, Selenium is a language written by multiple languages. You can implement it in Java, Python, C# or Ruby. So for every language, there are jars. Okay, so group ID is a main head. So Selenium is a group ID, is a big project. In that there are many sub projects, like if you want to automate it in Java, you have to use Java sub project. So that sub project details are passed as part of artifact ID. Okay, artifact ID is nothing but a jar name. Okay, this is a project. In this project, you are actually pulling the jar name called Selenium-Java. Okay, so this is basically sub project. So in that way, group ID and artifact ID are differentiated. So when you pass these 3 lines up in your project, first group ID, Maven reads group ID. So after reading group ID, it understands that this guy wants something from Selenium project. So first of all, it will filter with Selenium. And next, it will read artifact ID. So it understands that in Selenium project, this guy is looking for Selenium-Java jars. This is nothing but a sub project. And then it will go and connect to that. And the next step, you said version 3.6. Okay, so out of artifact IDs, what are jars I have for Selenium Java? This guy needs 3.6.0. And it pulls and pushes into your project. So this is how it works. So in this way, group ID and artifact ID plays a major role. So you can publish your projects in Maven. Okay, if you want to build a project and if you want to share with your some colleague outside your organization, you can simply create a project, because however when you want to create your Maven project, these details are mandatorily you have to pass, like what is your main project name, what is your sub project name. So pass all these details and publish your project in Maven. So if someone want to clone your project, just ask them to use your group ID and artifact ID. If they pass those details of your project, they can simply clone and get all your code into their local repository. So even if you want to create a Maven project, you have to provide this. Okay, so that's the importance of these 3. Okay, so when I say creating Maven project, firstly it gives you a dummy skeleton. It's simple skeleton. You won't have anything code inside it. You have to push all your test cases into that framework. Okay, Java test cases. So keeping all this in mind, let's create our first Maven project. So in the real time, when you are building a framework, first you create a Maven project with a skeleton, and slowly you will start building test cases inside it. Okay, so once you have defined outer skeleton of the project and framework folders, and then you start building test cases inside it. Okay, so let's create Maven project now. So earlier when I taught this Maven series, I have explained how to create a Maven project through commands and then how to integrate Maven with Eclipse. But you can actually directly create this Maven project in Eclipse only. Okay, you need not create outside and then give some commands to integrate. So you can get rid of this fifth point now, because I just updated this video to add this simple shortcut way and create Maven project in Eclipse. Okay, so let's do that now. So from your Eclipse, just right click, new. Earlier we used to create a Java project for Selenium or any other API test cases, right? So this time just select project. In project, when you land on this page, it looks something like this for you. Select the Maven folder, expand that folder and select this Maven project, because we are clearly telling to Eclipse that we want Maven related project now. Next, and let it use default workspace. Next. Right. So there are different templates Maven provides based upon your application development. If you are using any network related code or app related code, so based upon that you can select one template and Maven give you hierarchy accordingly. But for our all test automation projects, we can directly go with this quick start template. Okay, so this template is more than sufficient for us for all automation projects. So make sure you select a template which have quick start and then say next, and here you go. So here are the details you can provide, and when you land on this page, for you after selecting this, you will be asked to provide all the options. So group ID is the one, is nothing but the whole project umbrella, right? So in my case, I would give something like this, QA Click Academy, but we moved to recent website, Rahul Shetty Academy. I'm writing this name just to be synced with upcoming lectures. Okay. So this is the main project. So under this, let's say that we are working on, as I said, there is a big project, and under that big project, there are multiple teams having their own sub projects, right? So our sub project, what we are working is Maven Java now. Okay, let's assume that. So based upon these details, our project will be created. Okay, so when project is created in Eclipse, the project name will be nothing but artifact ID. Okay, and package name will be like this, group id dot artifact id. Okay, it's up to you to tweak this package name. Okay, if you don't want to have the long name, you can just keep the package name and group id same as well. Okay, it's your choice to choose correct package name, but when you provide these two details, based upon these two details, Maven will create you one project. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we already saw the importance of group ID and artifact ID, right? So you see that there is one project created for you, and if you carefully observe, the project name is nothing but artifact ID. Okay, so that's how Maven creates, because you are working on one sub project, right? That sub project name will be your artifact ID, and when you expand inside, you will see the two folders, source main Java and source test Java. So under this you will have one package, and this package name is nothing but group ID. Okay, so like this the structure will be formed, right? And this is the heart of your project, which is pom.xml. So the basic template is created for you. Now in this main/java folder, we will write all utilities, page object files, what all we need for a framework, test framework. In the test/java package, you will write all your automation test cases. So like this, we will have separation between test cases and the utilities. So all this ready-made template is directly provided by the Maven, right? And the pom.xml, if you open, and it have some basic dependencies here where you can add your all other actual dependencies for your test automation framework to handle. Okay, so in the next lecture, let's try to write some basic test cases in our Maven project, and let's see how to run those tests using Maven commands. All right, thank you.